And the opioid epidemic is a crisis that's really gotten worse during this pandemic. Recently, a 13-year-old girl overdosed on fentanyl. Police need your help to identify two people considered to be persons of interest in this case. News 4 Tucson's Lupita Murillo has more in tonight's Investigators Report.
A 13-year-old girl overdosed on drugs. It happened in a hotel room near the airport. A Tucson police detective tells the Digging Deeper team she wasn't alone. There were adults in the room with her.
One they've identified as 22-year-old Edgar Aguirre. Detectives say he's the victim's boyfriend. He's accused of numerous drug charges, along with being a prohibited possessor. He's currently being held in the Pima County Jail with no bond.
We were able to find out there was another male named Rafa and a female named Weta were in the room at the time that 911 was called.
Rafa and Weta are nicknames. Detective Dan Roberts wants to know their real names.
We'd like to talk to them as witnesses, see what they know, what happened in the room that led to the overdose, what she took, and how she took it. Those are important to the investigation.
Tucson Police Detective Roberts is assigned to the Counter Narcotics Alliance, or CNA. He works in the Narcotic and Violent Crime Unit. They investigate all overdose deaths. The question is, what is a 13-year-old doing in a hotel room with three adults?
Good question. Shouldn't be. But I can't explain why she was there or the family situation involving that.
What he can explain is she took a counterfeit oxycodone pill laced with fentanyl. The autopsy showed she died of a fentanyl overdose. He says she had been experimenting with drugs for a month before her death. Tucson Police Captain John Levitt.
For a 13-year-old to end up, dead in a hotel room because of a drug overdose, that's just a failure of our entire community.
Captain Levitt is the commander for CNA.
I mean, we have to do whatever we can to try to prevent those kinds of things from happening, and only through a good investigation and holding people accountable will we be able to do that.
Detective Roberts, who investigates overdose deaths, says all of them are tragic, but this one stands out.
13-year-old had her whole life ahead of her. She got messed up with the wrong people and just took a pill or whatever and died.
And that's why he says it's important to identify Rafa and Weta to see what information or leads they may have.
My ultimate goal is to find out the supplier, where the drugs were bought that were given to the 13-year-old.
Here's another look of Rafa and Weta, who Detective Roberts say were in the room with the 13-year-old when she took a counterfeit pill laced with fentanyl that ultimately cut her life short. He says he wants to prevent this from happening again and to provide clarity to the family wondering what happened.
You can't give them closure, but at least they can know what happened. Because this family lost their 13-year-old daughter.
Again, Rafa and Weta are key to this investigation, and police are needing your help to identify them. Call 911 or 88-CRIME. Investigating for you, Lupita Murillo, News 4 Tucson.